to, whichever one I decide at the time. So those that will know of watching the first one, where we were putting the sump back on, I obviously did that most of that off camera. I've got some little clips of me taking it off, but it's all a bit hit and miss. For reasons that I explained to the Patreon over on their channel. So what we have here is, we have the old one, which I'm not going to tilt too much because this is the old style torpedo style, which you can see it's in there. The water runs through, this fills with oil and heat exchanges it into the water, which then cools the gearbox. But this lets the oil leak out into the gearbox, into the chambers, but doesn't let the water run into the gearbox, which is good. It means we've saved the gearbox. But it also means that we're spending a fortune in ATF. And in the short time of looking after this bus, we've already gone through a 25 litre drum of ATF. So I've called it. I'm sick to death of putting ATF in it. The only place ATF can get out, because it ain't leaking physically from the gearbox, and it ain't going up the back of the bus, that's engine oil, is into the water system. And the water system shows sign of that oily sort of mess inside there. So rather than keep putting ATF in it, we bought a new one, new radiator. Now the torpedo style ones, like that one that I've just put down, you can still get, but there's some on eBay, ex-military, hardly used. But it's ex-military, that means it's rammed. But what we can do is we can fit this one to it instead. Now this is a standard oil cooling radiator. Yes, it looks a bit small, but it'll do the job. With some airflow and a fan on it, this will probably do the job. If not, I think this was 50 quid. So it's what the can of an ATF that we can go, well, we need a bigger one, or we could put two in series next to each other, you know. But we're going to see if we can get this to fit first. The connections look the same, but we're going to find that out in a minute. Obviously, that and that are mounted two different ways, so I'm going to have to make mounts for this as well. So, without further ado, let's get under the bus, blast out some tunes while I do it. But get them all in first. Yeah, metalwork is not, I'm not that good at it. But I'll do it. Right, so when all that's tightened up, that is not going to move anywhere, which is good. So they just need tightening up. Right, next thing on the agenda is this bloody hose. So let me... That's better, that's more like the water that's supposed to be in the system. But I think I may have gone through there, you see, so. And I can see card. Crap up there. So, I've got a feeling this converts that as well because it bulges there. So what I might have to do is cut the pipe there. Use a little joiner to join onto a little piece of found. And then I'll let go around the corner. Ah, fucking hell, man. I have to be careful because there's airlines next to this. Because access to it is yeah. Push that up like that. So, if I now cut a small section of this, that'll go on there, then we'll go on there, and then that round to there, in theory. Might need some washing up liquid on that side. Some oil and water. That'll do. Right, so what we have now is on there, so we need a hose clamp there, hose clamp there, hose clamp there, hose clamp there, and then tighten everything up, put some water in it, water first, oil second, and then see where she leaks. Probably all over the show. So that's gone, that's gone. Right. Well, I had to go shop. Had to go get some brand new ones. Normally the shop down near the shed doesn't have any stock of anything. But these are monster ones. They do any size. Because the other size he had, I wasn't too sure whether it'd fit or not. That size, can't go wrong. When you look at them, but because they're cut all the way around, you can tighten all the way up to the ridiculousness. Right, now that one is a really crap hose clamp, so I can't be arsed fighting to get the second one off, the first one off, so I'll just put a second one on here, right next to it. There you go. Right. Makes that one sort of look a bit pissant really. Right, so that's all that now. So the only thing is now it's going to be cutting into there. But that might sort itself out once I've tightened everything up back there. So I now need some spanners and a few other bits. I have 28mm spanners to tighten them up, and then we should be in business. Help. I ain't fucking... To be fair, my metal skill, working skills aren't that bad, but that ain't going anywhere. So let's tighten up the pipes now. Let's go by Herbert's 28 spanner. Don't over tighten them. Need to be tight. This one seems very loose. Oh no, it is going on. Right. So, step one, fill it with water. I can hear it filling the radiator up. That's good. All this water makes you want to pee. Need to tighten this belt up a bit. This radiator's got to fill up first. Now this takes about 20 odd litres of water. So it does take a bit. From empty. It wasn't too empty because there's still water in the system, but not much because we're taking the pipes off from the lowest point. Well, that's filling that up. Get the little funnel out. The little funnel. I can start looking at filling that up. The sun wheel might fit this one better actually. It's also a fully synthetic oil rather than semi. It's full.
I am so good at pretending. Keep on smiling in my tiny bubble, like a movie without ending. Spending time like it was going backwards. Bruises covering my walls, but they fall down. Diving deeper in the books that we read blind. Breathing in and breathing out to get smarter. Not working out for me, yeah. Got no money on my mind, tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the jokes you tell me. Keep myself inside the lines, neat and tidy all the time. If you ask me, I am fine. Got no money on my mind. Repeating patterns like the others. Meditation through the yoga lessons. Going greener by the minute. Soon I can't wear any other colors. Bruises covering my walls, but they fall down. Diving deeper in the books that we read blind. Breathing in and breathing out to get smarter. Not working out for me, yeah. Got no money on my mind, tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the jokes you tell me. Keep myself inside the lines, neat and tidy all the time. If you ask me, I am fine. Got no money on my mind. Don't you worry about me. If I keep feeling like I'm missing something, don't you worry about me, yeah. Don't you worry about it. Got no money on my mind, tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the jokes you tell me. Keep myself inside the lines, neat and tidy all the time. If you ask me, I am fine. Got no money on my mind.
You won't know if it leaks until it runs, because that's when the oil will start to circulate. So we've got 6 litres of oil in now. So let's add a bit more. This is the most expensive oil change I've ever done. The B10 oil wise was neglected as it just kept getting the same oil put back in it. Because the oil wasn't burnt or anything like that, it just kept getting the same oil put in it until it sort of died in a way. So we're up to 11 litres of oil is now in that box and being held up by what we've done. Then I'll have to wait a little while for the oil to settle in the box, because otherwise it's not going to make it down to the box. So then I'll end up starting the bus and not having enough oil in the gearbox basically. So give and take, drips and drabs that stay in the bottles. Not much of it though. That is now 15 litres of the most expensive stuff known to man in the engine. And surprisingly for myself, there's no leaks yet. So if I take that out, put it in my cardboard box for now. It's dipstick, it's a long one. Right, on the fact that he is miles away, I'm going to start it. And then I'm going to run to the back, so I've got the power of the emergency stop. I'm going to check for leaks and everything. So, if anything that can catch fire, sort it right.